Buckle up kids, because this is going to be a long video.
I go to war, I'll fight for you. Even when I've left, I do right by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky.
Hey guys, if you haven't met me before, hi, my name is Alice. It is lovely to meet you. This might be one of the longest and possibly most intense roller coastery video of my existence to date. I've got some coffee in my little Hufflepuff mug. I realise this might be quite echoey because every time I talk the guitar echoes my sound, but my friend Sophie gave me flowers and I wanted to stand by the flowers. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about my third year uni experience, aka the last year of uni. I'm done with uni. I don't have my results yet, so I don't actually know how I did, so we're just going to be talking about everything else other than that. So a little bit of background. I went to the University of Brighton. I studied applied psychology, which is a 3-year course, and it's a Bachelor's of Science, I think. So that was the degree that I did, have finished. I've made videos for my first year of uni and my second year of uni, so I won't be discussing how they went. Please feel free to watch those videos if you want to know. This isn't like my overall whole uni experience, this is literally just running through third year and explaining what went on, how I felt, all this stuff. So I do have some bullet points about like the academics and like accommodation and location and all things to do with that, but a lot of this will be how I found it, like how my year was. So to set it up, third year officially started in October, and I had a stressful 2 months prior to that. The flat that we moved into for third year, I have a move-in day vlog actually. I moved in at the end of August, and before then I'd been living with some friends because I didn't have like a tenancy crossover. Moved in, was living there for about a week, and then realised I was covered in bug bites and we had bugs in the flat. It was a whole ordeal. I like went to a hotel for a night and then stayed with a friend and then went back to where I was before, but I stayed in like a different person's room this time because they were away, and so I was like not living in my house again when I just moved in, and that was really upsetting for me because I'd been looking forward to this flat for so long. I was so excited to be living with just myself and Em and Millie and not having the boys there and just having our own little space and having a living room that we really liked and all of this, and then all of a sudden all those plans went down the drain. We thought we had bed bugs, so all the furniture got changed. Turns out after pest control came in, they were fleas because the people before us had taken in a stray cat. We saw this cat on the day we viewed the flat and it was in my room. So that was a whole ordeal, and I was the only one that was there when this all happened. So luckily I'm so grateful because Emily and Millie meant they didn't have to deal with any of that. They just came in later when most of it was all kind of organised and sorted and all like the right furniture was brought in and stuff. Obviously part of me was like, oh, I'm going through this all alone and I don't like it, but we coped, we got through it. So that then kind of set third year up weirdly because that was a really traumatic experience. I hated those bugs. We then no longer had a door handle for the rest of the year because they took it off to fumigate the flat, and no one's ever been able to get it back on since. So that's just the backstory to how third year began. I'll now actually discuss like the academic side of it. So yeah, did applied psychology, and the modules I had this year, I remember my modules for first semester was obviously a dissertation module, developing a therapeutic relationship, and forensic psychology. Forensics was so fun. Forensics is one of those modules that I loved but I didn't get the best grade in, but I just found it so interesting, and I think that's definitely due to the lecturers. One of the lecturers, Gemma, she's so enthusiastic about her work and it just makes you fall in love with the subject even more because you see how passionate she is about it, and it makes it 10,000 times more interesting. It's just great. In first semester I was in 2 days a week. I was in Mondays and Fridays. Mondays was 10 until 6 and Fridays was I think only like 2 hours in the afternoon. At the start of the year actually I went into third year having a job, so I worked at a coffee shop. In the summer I'd worked there basically part to full time. When uni started again I'd said to them like, look, I can do 2 days a week. In my head I was like, okay, I've got uni timetabled Monday and Friday, I'll have a library day Wednesday, and then I could work Tuesdays and Thursdays. That'll be fine, and have weekends off or to do uni work or whatever. That started off fine, but then lines get blurred really easily. So like my manager went on holiday for 2 weeks and I was the only one that they'd taught how to open the cafe. So for those 2 weeks I then was working 6 days a week, like opening up by the way at 6:30 in the morning. And one of the days I'd said that I couldn't work Friday because I had uni, I would end up like opening at 6:30, finishing at 12:30, scoffing lunch really quickly and then getting in the car and driving to uni to be there for 2. So that was like, it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it or anything like that, but I was already falling behind on uni work, so I was considering leaving the job after Christmas. And then you might know if you've watched a few of my past videos because I mentioned it sometimes, or if you just watched my second year uni experience, at the end I mentioned that I was on the waiting list for low self-esteem group therapy. I finally managed to get a place on the course in November. So in November I started low self-esteem group therapy. Tuesdays at work were the day that I worked from 6:30 in the morning to 5:30. So they were really long days. That was 11 hours with like half an hour of break maybe. I worked with people that I enjoyed their company, so it was all fine. But therapy, the only spaces that were available were on Tuesdays. It was either Tuesdays in the daytime or Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7:30. So I took the 5:30 to 7:30 slot because I didn't know when I'd next be able to have a slot. And then I said to my boss, I kind of took that as my sign, not necessarily from the Lord, but just being like, I should probably quit, because like Tuesday was the day that they definitely needed me to work and it was the only day the therapy was on. I think I started the 19th of November and they were like, can't you work like 1 day a week? But you know when you know that 1 day a week would end up being, oh, 1 day a week plus could you just cover this shift and then cover this, and I was like, look, I'm in 3rd year, I'm already behind, I'm just gonna quit. So I started therapy. There was a break over Christmas and then carried on all the way through to February. Therapy in itself was a very big part of my 3rd year. It was very overwhelming at the start, definitely, because it began with 12 people and then over the weeks the numbers dwindled. Obviously it's all confidential, so I won't be sharing anything that anyone said, but it was working on figuring out the core beliefs that you held, the view that you had, why did you have those views, and obviously the low self-esteem stuff links into anxiety and depression. So it was all a cycle and it brought up a lot of things, and I've always felt really anxious in there, but I was really lucky in terms of the fact that I made a friend. We'll call him my therapy friend because I won't say his name, but he was one of the only people actually as well that was there every week. There was not that many people came every single week. We normally split off into partners quite a lot because they would always discuss something at the front and then ask you to like explain to your partner how you felt about that, or like deep, really deep stuff. And he was the person that I was normally always with, and so that like calmed me down a lot, like talking to him. It was like whenever we turned to the groups I felt really anxious. So I was very lucky to have that, because obviously loads of the other people like didn't come for every single week or didn't have someone that they felt like they could talk to like that. So I was really lucky to have that guy who I felt like I could talk to at therapy, and so he was really sweet and that was great. And the therapists were really nice. They definitely helped, and we had one-to-one session where we could talk about like the homework that we did. We had homework every week, and what we've realised about ourselves, why we thought that we had those views that we had. So my core belief was that I was not good enough. So we had to work through why I thought that, what did I do that reiterated that to me and that confirmed that to myself, and how to slowly get out of that mindset. And we looked at values, we looked at a bunch of things like that, and it was really helpful. But it did mean that I would leave at 7:30 and then run to students at church, which was at 7:30, and so I was always really weird at students for a few weeks because I didn't feel in the mood to talk to anyone. But therapy was a big thing for me, and I do think it's helped because, not to be all deep, but like I hate myself a lot less than I did last year, and I'm doing a lot better at like, basically one of the things they said to us was, instead of living in the world where you think like, oh, I'm not good enough, like what if you just pretended that you were, like what if you just pretended, okay, what would like good enough Alice do, and try and like act on that rather than what you do think. And that was like fake it till you make it kind of thing. It really did help, because it was like, actually if I just take a step back for a second and think, oh, I'm not trying that because I don't think I'm good enough, or I'm not going to ask that person out for coffee because I don't think they'd want to be my friend. What if you just lived in the like, hold on a second, I am good enough. If I was to be really stubborn about it, what would I do? You'd ask that person for coffee, you would do this, blah blah blah. So that was really helpful. But yeah, apologies if that's not what you came to this video for, but it was a big part of the year for me, so I had to talk about it. So yeah, academics. We have exam periods in January and May. I was lucky enough to not have exams. I think I just had coursework. I think the only exams I had was where they'd release a question and then you'd have a week to write an essay on it. Forensics, I didn't do that great. I got a 2-2. I think I got like a mid to high 2-2. And then the other modules I got 2-1s, which I was happy with. January was when I really like got my stuff together with uni work, and it was great. So basically from the new year I went into uni every single day. I still went to the gym 3 days a week to do powerlifting. I wasn't really improving with that, and I knew I was going to stop after uni anyway, but obviously Corona has meant that I just stopped in March and I've just not done any exercise since. So my powerlifting short-lived career is over. 3 days a week I would be at the gym from 9 AM and then finish probably like 11:30, 12ish, go have lunch and then work for the afternoon. All the other days I'd be in from like 9 to 5. Sometimes me and my friend Abby, who I'd go to the library with, would be there until like 6:30, 7 at night. If we were just having one of those days where we either were on a roll or we hadn't done anything during the day and we were like, look, we actually have to get stuff done. Abby was the dream. Me and Abby were study buddies. We were library partners. We would go to this building. It's called the Watson building at Brighton if you're there, and upstairs on the second floor there's like a little study bit in the social sciences part, like between a lot of the offices for the social science lectures. And so we would go there every single day, plug our laptops in with a bag of snacks. I'd go with this thing full of coffee and we would study. When we started in January we were doing our essays that were due at the end of January, and I've got, I think, vlogs of that. Yes, I definitely have a vlog because I remember I filmed like a weekend in my life where I think I filmed a day of studying on a Friday and then I got a tattoo at the weekend, and Abby was the one that came with me and held my hand. And then once those essays were over we would do our readings for lectures or we would work on our dissertations, and I was doing a qualitative dissertation and she was doing a quantitative, so those are quite different, but we motivated each other to go to uni, and that was one of the beautiful things about it. And I really thrive off of going out and doing uni work somewhere else, so going to the library and going to the Watson building was what made me do my work. I've never been good at doing work at home, which is ironic because Corona. And then, before Christmas we'd had uni strikes. After Christmas we had another month of uni strikes, and then we had about a week or two of teaching before we all got sent home for Corona, and then it all got moved online. So I'm going to be completely honest, that was poor showing from the uni. I know that they had no idea that obviously Corona was going to happen, and I completely agree with all the reasons why they were striking. I agree that all of the different pay gaps, the pay gap between men and women, the pay gap between people of colour and white university lecturers and university staff, the disability pay gap, I completely agree with all of the reasons why they were striking, but I just think it really affected my year because with Corona at least, obviously the teachers have been available online, but with the strikes they weren't, so no one was answering emails, no one was doing anything like that. They tried to help the best they could, but obviously they were striking, so if they helped us it would just be defeating the point of them striking. That was tough, that was hard. I'm gonna be honest, that sucked. But there was nothing we could do about it, so we just had to crack on and do our best. And if I'm being completely honest and transparent, when I came back and moved back home to Bristol to live with my parents, when coronavirus first kind of hit and everyone was freaking out about it, since being home I didn't attend any online lectures or seminars, not one. I looked at one PowerPoint slide when I needed it to write an essay, but aside from that I just spent all of my time working on my dissertation and working on the essays because I didn't see the point in the lectures anymore because they weren't relevant to what I was writing about. I hate online uni. I paid my money to go to uni and be at uni and go to the buildings and see the lecturers. So that's me personally. We had to quickly pause because the card was full. But yeah, anyway, I'll move on from that. But the strikes and all of that is just kind of, it's made academics really hard in third year. The annoying thing is most other people at university have gone through the exact same thing. So although it feels really personal and it feels like it's just you that's suffering, actually everyone else is probably struggling with it too. So meh. So going on to speak about where I lived. So first year I lived in halls, second year I lived in a house, and third year I lived in a flat. I lived in a lower ground floor flat in central Brighton, and I lived with two other girls, Emily and Millie, who I've actually lived with for the whole time at university. In first year there was 8 of us living together, second year 5, and now we dropped it to us 3. They have been one of the best things about this past year. They have been so amazing and special and pivotal in my university life and just me in general. Like, I just don't feel like we'd be the same people if we hadn't met each other, you know? And if you want to see them and a little bit more of our living room, actually, we filmed a vlog on the 1st of December where we got our Christmas tree. So if you want to see them and us, they're in that video. They were just gems. But anyway, so I had the smallest room in the flat, and I had that by choice because in second year I was fortunate enough to have a really large room. So I took the most awkward room. It was awkward, I have a room tour, but it was awkward because one wall was doors to outside and one wall was a sink, and on the same wall was a wardrobe, and then there was a radiator, so you couldn't really like put anything anywhere. So I had a very small room, but I was lucky to have the room that I had, so not complaining. I mean, can't really complain after they got rid of the bugs. So the flat was cheaper than, well, it was cheaper than the rent we paid for the house in Brighton, but this one was a 12-month contract rather than an 11-month contract. So overall we've ended up spending the same money as we did in second year, which is obviously very peak considering halfway through March we all went home. So our flat has been empty and none of us expected to leave it that long. So like, there are mouldy carrots in my fridge, I'm just going to be honest, there's mouldy carrots in my fridge. When we go back, honey, we've got work to do, like we've got to clean, we're going to have scrubbing to do because we didn't expect to be gone this long. So my rent was, I don't know if I mentioned what my rent was in the last few videos, but I'm just going to say my rent was £127 a week, not including bills, and for Brighton that's normal, if not good. Bills ended up being fine. We paid £14 a month each for Wi-Fi. Our electricity and stuff would come at the end of like every 3 months or so, but that normally ended up working out to be like, for our gas and electricity, I want to say in winter it was around £1 a day each, I think. This time it's been obviously a bit less because as it gets warmer you don't use the heating as much. But yeah, so that was our flat, and it was a lower ground floor flat, so we did have my room especially. I didn't get much light, and not to sound weird and trivial, but that really did affect my like mental health a lot. Being under the ground, it's not something I'm gonna go for again if I can help it, because I hated being under the ground. Sunlight makes me really happy, and loads of people were like, maybe I should invest in getting an SAD lamp. I don't know. So yeah, I'm loving being back in Bristol with a window where I can actually get sunlight most of the time. The housemates were great. The flat, we made it ours. Our living room was really cute. We had like little coffee tables, got my little rug down there. We had the doorbell's just gone. Is Dad gonna get it? Dad? Yeah. You cool? Location was great. We were really close to a train station, so that was really useful because that's how we all got to uni pretty much. Parking, Em was on the waiting list from June last year to, I think she got it at the start of this year. Did you, or did you get it before? She was at placement, so she needed a car to drive to placement. I was lucky because I had a car in second year, so my permit I was able to renew, and that was like £130 for the permit. Where we lived, we were on a main road, so we would just park in one of the side streets, and that was all fine and dandy. Yeah, I really liked our flat. I think like it was not my dream, but you know, it did its job, and I loved the people. They like made it. If it wasn't with them, then I wouldn't have been as happy. The kitchen was tiny. The kitchen was so tiny. Watch any of my vlogs from third year and the kitchen's like yay big. And we used to have flat night every Monday, which was lovely. I think I started joining them maybe in the new year on the flat nights on Mondays, because before Emily and Millie would do their food shopping at Asda by themselves, and I would just go to like Aldi during the week. But then I joined them at Asda, and would come back from placement, and we would all get in her car, go and do our food shop, and then we would put the shop back in the car and we would go out for dinner at Brighton Marina. So that was really lovely. And then sometimes we'd come back back and like watch a movie all together or something like that. And I'm so happy, I'm so happy that we did that, because that was so wholesome and cute. And I remember, I think we were very fortunate because we made the most of being together, especially just before Corona. We for some reason ended up spending loads of time together and like getting takeaways and just chilling in each other's presence. And I made them watch Letters to Juliet, which was fun, and like Millie made us watch 5 Feet Apart and we all sobbed. We had loads of spontaneous nights out that like I was not meant to go on, but then I would end up half an hour before being like, you know what, excuse my language, fuck it, I'll come. Would run around and get ready really fast. And there was one night I ate out of date ready meal mac and cheese because I didn't have any dinner. Yeah, so basically accommodation was great, people were great, would not have wanted to change that because I'm so blessed to have them in my life and have them being my housemates. Something that I haven't mentioned is a lot of my free time would be normally spent at church. So I'm a Christian. I became a Christian in my first year of uni. Well, I'd always believed in God, but I didn't have a relationship with God until first year of uni. The church I go to in Brighton is called St. Peter's. Students is every Tuesday, and then I stopped being on youth team when I started 3rd year because I just felt like I was just doing stuff all the time and I really wanted a break. And then on Sundays I would help at the 11 on campus, and that was actually on Sussex campus. So at first I felt weird because I was a Brighton student going to Sussex, and I was like, not my place. But that was really good, and I made some really great friends there, particularly a girl called B. She's now in my prayer group. Me, her and Amelia, we call every Friday and we all like chat and catch up and pray for each other, and it's just the dream, the bee's knees. What else do I have to talk about? At the end of my 2nd year video, I said that I had been in a thing with this guy and it hadn't worked out, and like that was all fine and dandy. That thing kind of carried on until about the new year and then stopped. That was a journey, to say the least. An emotional roller coaster. But the same thing still stands in the fact that he's lovely, he's a gem, and we aren't able to talk as much anymore because it's just not a good idea for us to talk that much. But we still catch up every, like, this time it was like there was a 2-month gap between when we spoke, but every like month or so we'll catch up and like just check on how each other is and like see if there's anything we could be praying for each other, which is really nice. But yeah, I've been single since 2020. I've been single, and I'm learning to be very okay with that, and I'm doing a lot of growth in myself, and so yeah, I'm quite chill with that. And I think also this is such a weird time in my life, like I'm so happy that I'm not seeing anybody, because I think that that would just be another like addition to the big pile of confusion. But this way, like, I can make decisions about my future, and if I want to do further study or if I want to get a job or where I want to live, I can make that all based on what I actually want rather than building it around someone else, which is a blessing. So yeah. Oh, I've done a lot more reading. As you might be able to tell, my last few videos, some of them about books. In 2nd year I did not read that many books, but I've already read like 20 I think this year, which is great. Studying at home was really hard. I really struggled with that. For the first month or so I went into my sister's room and used her desk, and then afterwards I just went on my bed and studied there. This, folks, is my dissertation. I wrote a dissertation. Here is 37 pages of dissertation. It's not actually 37 pages long. A lot of that is references and appendices. Ah, don't open the door because I'm filming and you're going to hit the camera. Hello. Sorry, that scared the life out of me because I was scared you're going to hit me. Hi, Mum. You got me chocolate.
I felt bad. All your friends are sending you things and I got nothing. Have you had lunch?
Yeah, I had a yogurt, that's what I had, so no, I haven't had lunch.
Well, come see what I bought us.
Oh my god. Basically today, my friend Amelia sent me a parcel in the post to say congratulations on finishing uni. Let me show you. She got me this candle, this book of happy poems, and then she wrote loads of like Bible verses and stuff and encouragements on paper, and they're so cute. And she gave me this, which is this like calming mist spray, and it smells like the salty seaside and is so sweet. And then obviously Sophie gave me flowers, and she gave me such a big bunch of flowers that arrived that like this is half of them. They wouldn't all fit in one vase. So we've got one out here and one in the living room, which is so nice because my mum loves lilies and there's some lilies in here, and I love roses. And so basically I think Mum felt bad because everyone today is like giving me stuff and sent me stuff, and Mum was like, I feel bad. So she got me my favourite chocolate. Oh, I just love my family and I love all my friends. But yeah, on that note, I'll end this video. This was very all over the place. I don't know what I got in my degree. With everything going on with COVID, I'm assuming they're going to do benchmarking, which means that if they base my mark for my degree off of what I got in first semester, then I should be on track for a 2-1. My work, I don't know if it has been at a 2-1 standard this semester with everything going on, but I'm sure I'll do a video when I get my results. We're not graduating in August, so I won't be graduating this year, but I'll be graduating in February, so at least I still get to do it and I still get to see everyone and have those memories. My tenancy ends at the end of August in Brighton, so I'm hoping that I can get back there for at least maybe the month of August to spend some time there with my friends before I officially come back, even though I've basically moved back. I don't know what I'm doing afterwards. I might look into masters. I don't want to say small, but there's a part of me that wants to look into converting to law, but I don't know whether I'm actually clever enough to do that. But you don't know until you try, so that might be something I look into, or just getting a job and figuring it out from there. But the world is my oyster, you know, you can do anything you set your mind to, whether you think you can or you think you can't, probably right. So yeah, if there is anything that you think that was crucial that I missed out, please leave a comment and ask me and I would love to answer. But this has been a heck of a year. This has been crazy with everything going on in the world, but also just my life, and I'm so grateful for everything that's gone on. If you're interested in what my life has been in third year, any videos from the past academic year have been me in third year, so you're more than welcome to watch any of them. But yeah, this is me. I'm now going to go have lunch with my mum because she bought mussels, which we love. That's something that we just love to eat. We always have it when we go on holiday together. We're going to watch Chesapeake Shores and we're going to watch Pioneer Woman. There's so much stuff that I could say about uni. If you have any other video requests, please feel free to let me know. But everyone, I'm so grateful for all my friends and everyone at uni and everyone who loves me and supports me and is there for me and has been my family. A little special shout out to Katie and Joe because they have not been students this past year, but they've been like my family, and my best friend Imi, and just everyone, literally everybody. My church, I'm so grateful for my church community. This is not an acceptance speech, so I don't know why I'm saying all of these things. Who knows what the future holds? Only the Lord. So I'm gonna love you and leave you. That's all from me for today. I hope you've all had an amazing day and I will see you hopefully next Monday with another video. Bye.